Karnataka High Court has restrained police from taking coercive action against Karnataka State Cricket Association officials in connection with the stampede that killed 11 people outside the Chinnaswamy Stadium on the 4th of June. This after an FIR was filed against the RCB, against the event management company and the Karnataka State Cricket Association. So far, there have been 6 arrests that have been made in this particular case, all of whom belonged to either the RCB or to the event management company that was responsible to hold that particular event at the Vidhan Soda and then the Chinnaswamy Stadium. Dissent is growing now within the Karnataka police following the suspension of senior officers in the aftermath of the Bengaluru Stampede. Many personnel believe that police are being made scapegoats for this tragic incident. Police constable, in fact, even staged a protest holding a photo of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar symbolizing his call for justice. He's just one person at the moment, but his letter to the governor is expected to garner more support within the police force. This letter requests the governor to cancel the transfer of the suspension of the Bengaluru former police commissioner B. Dayanand. Meanwhile, heads are beginning to roll in Karnataka in the political sphere as well. Karnataka Chief Minister's political secretary has been sacked. There are several other transfers, suspensions that have taken place within the police ranks as well. Sackings and transfers have triggered this political fight between the BJP and the Congress, especially because the BJP believes that the state government is shielding all politicians who were present during that felicitation ceremony, and policemen, the men on ground, the boots on ground, in fact, are paying the price. They were thrown under the bus by the political administration, by the political class in Karnataka, is the allegation that the BJP and the JDS combined seem to be making. But what's also interesting is the contrast that came in from the Karnataka government. The Deputy Chief Minister, D.K. Shivkumar, on the day of the stampede was quick to talk about what a good job the police officers had done on ground. Contrast that to what the Chief Minister said after his press conference yesterday, where he actually went to defend his decision to put these police officers, including the top cop of Bengaluru, on suspension.
The Cabinet has taken a decision to suspend the CPI of the Kabban Park police station and ACP of that particular area, Deputy Commissioner of Police, Assistant Commissioner of Police and CPI, and Additional Commissioner of Police, and who is in charge of the stadium.
Yes, they condone the message. ನಾನು ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ಗೆ ಸ್ಟೇಡಿಯಂಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಐ ಗೇವ್ ದೆಮ್ ಎ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ದೆಮ್ ವಿತ್ ಇನ್ 10 minutes this program should be closed. I took the secretary also, he also, they all agreed, even the RCB team agreed. Within 10 minutes in the stage, not even 1 minute. 5 minutes they closed the program and they went around that. We sent a lot of police people around them also. We didn't want any incident to happen also. They just closed.
The political war words, meanwhile, have escalated in Karnataka. The BJP asking the Karnataka government as to why they didn't stop the event. Why the Chief Minister of Karnataka, the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, their family members, several MLAs were inside the Chinnaswamy Stadium posing with the team, posing with the trophy, even when the news had already come out that there was a stampede right outside the Chinnaswamy Stadium. Several lives were lost back then. The number was not clear, but the fact that an incident, a tragedy had happened, was that not enough for the state government to put an end to this event that was going on? That's a question the political detractors of the Congress are asking.
You see, Kumbh Mela was not a stampede. 120 people died, or we don't know. We are a responsible government. We are owning up responsibility. I'm coming and talking in front of the media. The CM is addressing the media. We are not hiding casualties. We are not shying away from our responsibilities. What happened in Kumbh Mela? That was not a stampede. Then why nobody asked the resignation?
So police in the FIR clearly mentioned, even though permission was denied, the RCB and other agencies organized this function. But how did Chief Minister tweet? Why did he welcome the RCB fans? This has led to such a big tragedy. 11 innocent lives has been lost. If at all, if anybody is responsible for this tragedy, for the 11 deaths, it is the Chief Minister himself. So Chief Minister has to resign, taking moral responsibility.
Let's open this up. GS Prashant, spokesperson of Karnataka BJP, is with us. Shatabhishi Shivarna, spokesperson of the Karnataka Congress, activist and prominent citizen from Bengaluru, Priya Chetty Rajgopal, is with us as well. But I want to begin this broadcast by asking former DGP AK Jain. Sir, how do you look at these suspensions that have taken place? Do you think that this was required, this was necessary? Because many believe that the fact that the Bangalore top cop was shunted, several other transfers have happened, is just the political class there, the state government there finding scapegoats. Do you think that's what this is?
It is the easiest thing to do. Just place a few officers, police officers under suspension and brush it beneath the carpet. Tell the High Court that we have taken cognizance of the lapses and we are holding police responsible, whereas the state government itself is responsible, RCB is responsible, Karnataka State Cricket Association is responsible, the event management company DNA is responsible, politicians are responsible. There is tussle, everybody knows there is tussle going on in Karnataka between CM and Deputy CM. Deputy CM is going to airport, Deputy CM is going to Vidhan Sabha. Vidhan Sabha felicitation was added at the last moment. Although Commissioner Police told CM that it will not be possible to organize these events before Sunday. He was overruled because foreigner players, they were going back. They were insisted on going back. So there was insistence that event will be held at Vidhan Sabha. And it is said that some very important minister persuaded CM that it will be in the interest of the party to hold it at Vidhan Sabha. So when nobody is listening, RCB is issuing a press release on its own that a victory march shall be taken out, victory parade shall be there, they shall be welcomed, there will be felicitation ceremony, free passes will be arranged near Chinnaswamy Stadium gate. So how can you do all this? Under Police Act of Karnataka, this is all prohibited. You have to take permission. Well, how is police responsible? Fine, I agree that more and more men should have been deployed, but one should not forget that these men were on law and order bandobast duty till 5 in the morning last night because of the celebrations going on in Bengaluru. And you ask the police to arrange to deploy force at airport, from airport to hotel, from hotel to Vidhan Sabha, from Vidhan Sabha to Chinnaswamy Stadium. So, Chinnaswamy Stadium, if they are so confident, they should have arranged the guards because it's the responsibility of RCB and Karnataka State Cricket Association. It is not the responsibility of police because permission of police was not taken. You are thinning out the presence of police by holding events at so many places. You have not called extra forces from the neighboring districts. You have not given them time, 3-4 hours time, and you ask police to arrange the function. You overrule police commissioner. Program was organized at Vidhan Sabha. Why was it organized? Just to get
and that is what the police have been saying, Mr. Shivarna, that the police were never in favor of this event taking place.
Yes.
Why was there no control of the state government on any of what transpired? The fact that RCB went on to publicize free tickets, there was no control over that. The state government pushed for this particular event to take place because the political advisor of the Chief Minister said so. There apparently they didn't have any control over it. Why was the government so helpless and not in control?
First and foremost, I think all of us must be sympathetic and apologetic to the 11 lives that have been lost and their family members. My heart goes out to them. You know, insofar as the police personnel are concerned, I don't understand where this rumor is coming from, that the police objected to the event, the police resisted the event. These are all rumors. We have material in front of us. Prima facie investigation has been conducted. Affirmative action has been taken by the state government. An FIR has been registered. A magisterial inquiry and a judicial probe has been ordered into by Justice Michael D. Kunna will be looking after it. Karnataka has taken suo motu cognizance. Do you think we can just drop people like Commissioner of Police, ADGP at the drop of a hat? We have, of course, applied our minds and seen who is responsible. And sir, let me tell you, it is not just the police officials. Don't make this just about the police. We have taken action against our own government members. Political secretary of the Chief Minister has been relieved from his duty. And then RCB management has been roped in and they have been arrested in a short span of time. KSCA officials have been roped in and they have approached the Honorable High Court seeking quashment of the FIR. They are not cooperating with the investigation. 11 lives have been lost. All of them are younger than probably me, under 30 years.
Because Mr. Shivarna, the KSCA says that the government insisted, the government asked us to hold this event.
No, not
so why
at
should
all.
we be held responsible? That's what they've said in court, sir. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah. On 3rd, they request for a letter. They say, I have the letter with me. They say, please allow us to perform a celebratory event on the steps of Vidhan Sauda, conduct a public rally from Vidhan Sauda to Chinnaswamy, and then an event in Chinnaswamy. We thwarted it. We thwarted the public rally at 11 a.m. in the morning. Despite that, the RCB management at 7 o'clock in the morning, they have the gall to take out to social media. They issue free tickets on websites, sir. It was not near the stadium.
So then why was that not put an end to right then?
Knowing fully well that Chinnaswamy has a capacity of 33,000, shouldn't hold all of them accountable. And let me tell you, let me be very clear. I am not saying that there has not been a lapse on part of the government. We are conceding. We are accountable. We know that heads will roll, irrespective of what their post is, what ministry they hold. But please allow us to do our job. We can't allow retired, officers or police officials to tell us who we should suspend, when we should suspend them, why should we blame it on the police. We are conducting a prima facie investigation. Let us take our call. Let us do our job. We are answerable to the honorable.
Sure, you are answerable to the people of Karnataka, to the people of Bengaluru. Yes. But GS Prashant, the Congress says this is just the beginning. That we've sacked the political advisor of the Chief Minister as well. So we are not shying away from taking any action. Why is the BJP not convinced then?
Poonam, the 3 people who should have gotten out of the posts are A1 Siddaramaiah, A2 DK Shivkumar, A3 Parameshwar. These are the 3 people who are involved because, but for Siddaramaiah's tweet, wherein he invited all the fans of RCB, stating that all of you are welcome. I am felicitating RCB outside Vidhan Sauda. That was a tweet by the CM, which means he has endorsed the event and he has invited the fans there. People gathered in large numbers. Point number 2. DK Shivkumar was present everywhere. He went to the airport to receive the players. He was waving RCB flag. Then he was in Vidhan Sauda, felicitating them along with his family members, extended family members, everybody. Photo op. Then he was in the Chinnaswamy Stadium, holding the trophy, kissing the trophy as if he had won the trophy by himself. Which means it indicated that government was all for this event and photo job. The photo event. This is after DK Shivkumar being made aware that people had lost lives. He was shamelessly inside KSCA posing with the trophy. This indicates how insensitive they were.
Okay, let him finish. Let him finish, Mr. Shivarna. Let's not speak over each other. I'll give you your time to rebut. I will give you your time to rebut, and you can put the facts on record.
By merely suspending police officials and roping in a ticketing agent. DNA was a ticketing agent, I believe. You may arrest whoever in accordance with law. But all that you're trying to do is, I was to say, you're doing something. If you're really interested in a fair probe, let Siddaramaiah write to the Chief Justice of Karnataka, urging him to appoint a sitting High Court judge to probe. I'll tell you the difference. If a sitting High Court judge probes it, he can summon even the CM and the DCM, whereas a judicial magistrate inquiry conducted by a district magistrate, he may not have the power to summon the Chief Minister. Therefore, if Siddaramaiah feels he is clean and that his DK Shivkumar's hands are not filled with blood of 11 innocent lives, let him ensure that the probe is conducted by a sitting High Court judge. What are they waiting for? Why do they want?
But there is a one-man judicial commission that is now going to investigate. There's a magisterial probe. The CID is also investigating. But Mr. Shivan,
as to what this one-man commission can do. But whereas if a sitting High Court judge
probes
it,
I take your point. Okay, I take your point. You made some allegations. Let the Congress respond before I get in Priya Rajgopal as well. Mr. Shivarna, if the state is investigating the state, can we really trust that probe? That's a question not just the BJP but many in Karnataka, many of your voters are also asking.
then as a lawyer, I don't think any law enforcement agency will be able to work properly. You know, we must repose faith in the law enforcement agencies. There's an independent judge. The High Court has taken cognizance of the matter on Thursday, and they have given time till Tuesday to submit a summary report. But the BJP demands heads to roll right now. This is nothing but politics. I have a counter question, and sir, let me tell you, we learned PR from the BJP and from the Honorable Prime Minister. And insofar as Goa is concerned, the number is 6, Jammu 8, Jharkhand 10, Bihar 32, MP 100, UP 30. All these people with all the efforts, thousands of crores put in, and you're not able to give us a death count till today, and you expect resignation of the Honorable Chief Minister? What kind of moral right do you have? Please let us know what happened in UP.
If you get to the
Please
history
let us
of
know.
Congress,
See, the double standards
history
of the
of
Bharat
Congress
Janata
starts
Party
with bloodshed of Hindus.
But what is with this? What about you on both sides? It's not one crime is not smaller than the other. One tragedy is not greater than the other. Loss of any life, be it 1 or 120.
Exactly.
It's the same.
Exactly the stand of the
CM
Congress
and
party.
DCM have
You know,
failed.
the stand of the
There is no
Congress
point
party
in
is
saying
no
that Goa, 5
celebration
people
at
died.
the
If
risk
5 people
or
have
at the
died in
loss
Goa, it's
of
unfortunate.
human lives.
Let them
But
be
Mr.
human.
Shivanna, those celebrations continued inside the Chinnaswamy Stadium.
Can you please
That's the
hold
most
on?
unfortunate bit.
Shamelessly, Congress
No,
continued
please
celebration.
don't.
Mr. Prashant, just a second. Mr. Prashant, just a second, please.
One important point.
Mr. Prashant, I'll come back to you. Just a second, please. Mr. Shivanna, the celebrations did continue inside the Chinnaswamy Stadium, did they not?
We have acknowledged the very fact that 11 lives have been lost today, and we are accountable, including the state government, including the public administration, including the RCB, KSEA and the event manager. Let an investigation, thorough investigation come out, and irrespective of who it is, they will be brought to the books. The stand of the Congress party is simple: no celebration at the cost of human lives. Human lives are important, and we are ensuring every endeavor to ensure
That thought is appreciated, but Priya Rajgopal, had the thought come before the event was organized and before the stampede took place that celebrations cannot come at the loss of lives, that would have been greatly appreciated, isn't it? Because there clearly was something amiss in the way this entire event took place, in the entire manner in which precautionary measures were not taken. A complete blind eye was turned to them.
Hindsight is perfect sight. There's no question about that. And we can see hindsight at work here. One of the reasons why I get so distressed being between, the politicians on the panel is whatever you do, however bright and wonderful they are, the fact is it will always come into finger pointing, and it makes, for me, as a common citizen, as a person who loves my city, makes me physically ill. When you sit, both of you are here on the panel, when you start comparing 11 deaths in Bangalore, like a number and a statistic, to 20 deaths in MP or 17 deaths somewhere else, what kind of metrics are you playing? I have great respect for your work, Mr. Shivanna, but I think when we start pulling down metrics like that, we congeal in our hearts, because this is what makes us sick about politics, about the fact that everything can come down to a game, to just sort of see how we can leverage this. I asked you a couple of questions. I think people have outraged enough about this. There's no question that the stampede was a wound on the soul of Bangalore. There was a lot of excitement, and if the excitement had gone well, nothing had happened, we would have continued to ride on the excitement of the win. I have no interest in cricket, so I would not be able to comment on that, but I do understand my friends and colleagues, and as a Bangalore person, this was a big deal. But I have a distance because I'm not a cricket fan. Having said that, you have all this which has happened. If it had gone well, we would have been talking today about how wonderful the CM, the DCM looked when they were going to arrive, and Virat Kohli would have been fantastic. We would have been doing all the good PR about that. Qatar Airways would have got a huge mileage because all the t-shirts would have been out there. A private organization like IPL, RCB would have been out there flying with a lot of mileage in the newspapers, and fair enough. But things did not go the way it did. And mind you, this depends on a very fine turn of fate. It could have not happened, it could have happened. But the way things were, there was no question about the fact that there was a disaster waiting to happen. With the lack of clarity, with the lack of deliberate, opacity that was left during the process. Is it on? Is it off? Is it on? Is it off? And people were utilizing the gaps to be able to jump in. RCB, for whatever it's worth, had no business saying, come in and join our victory parade without permission. Considering the size and space, the CM certainly didn't have to send out a tweet saying, come one, come all. And the DCM going out there, and with respect to all of them, they're all wonderful people. They all are very competent and prominent in their own right. But by doing all this, they were supporting. And there is, what appalls me is, there is no question. We are not even, for me yesterday when I was on a panel, I started seeing the pictures of the 11 who died. Otherwise, it was a horrible faceless mass of people who were stuck one under the other in that terrible picture of the stampede. But here, you saw the faces and the hopes and the dreams and aspirations of these 11 people who died. And it broke my heart. And I think it's really affecting a lot of Bangaloreans post facto who are now trying to come to terms with what has happened, right? Nobody's calling people to account, because I think we've gone a little bit beyond that. This was, I agree with both my political panelists that, this was in some way very difficult to predict and control. It happened. But the way the reaction fills me with shame. And
that's difficult to predict, because many would suggest that it wasn't. That there should have been precautions that should have been taken. There were no ambulances anywhere there close by. There was no holding area, so to say. All of that is a precautionary measure that had to be taken into place. When you knew that there was so much confusion, whether there was an open bus parade or not, whether there was going to be a stadium ceremony or a Vidhan Sabha ceremony, there are at least 3 metro stations, if I'm not mistaken, that connect you to the Chinnaswamy Stadium, to the Vidhan Sabha as well. Could those metro stations not have been closed down, Mr. Shivarna? Could those precautions not have been taken?
I want to jump in.
Yes.
I don't normally interrupt, but I think as a citizen, I think we've had just about enough. I'm saying we do not let the citizen's voice be heard, because at this point, the question is, there was an element of bad luck. If things had gone right, we would have not have been talking. Things went horribly wrong. And now we can look back with the gift of hindsight to say, why didn't we do this? Why didn't we do that? And I'm doing the same thing.
Sure.
I know better or worse. I'm doing it.
Sure.
There is today, what is appalling is those 11 faces, those lack of dreams, the fact that our city has gone there. If you see the letter which has gone out about the suspension of the police senior police people, who I believe are just being Balika Bakra. I mean, heads roll. Let the heads roll to the people who wrote that letter. You know and I know that the people whose heads should roll are the ones who sat by allowing a situation to develop so that they could take political advantage. That's the case. I don't think the police commissioner or any of those people who have just done their job, who have clearly said, we are not for this program.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But that's exactly, Mr. Shivarna, what I've been asking, that there are certain measures that have to be put in place for an event like this. Whether there were 32,000 people, which is the capacity of the Chinnaswamy Stadium, or 4 or 5 times the amount of people that actually turned up. The basic precautionary measures like first aid, like ambulances, like stretchers were not there.
Just one second.
Firstly, I would like to echo the sentiment.
I'll come back to you. Mr. Rajgopal.
I echo the sentiment of Mr. Rajgopal, and as a Bangalorean, I too am pained. Those 11 lives are young students. One was studying MBBS, one was studying engineering, a software engineer, one was recently married, one was about to get married. Now, it pains me that these 11 lives have died. And the fact is that the incident has happened. A joy is a moment of celebration that we all waited for as Bangaloreans for 18 years was eclipsed with a tragic stampede. And that is the harsh reality that we are facing today. But madam, as the government, we are taking enough and more measures to ensure that an incident like this does not occur in Bangalore in the near future or ever again. What have we done to ensure that the people or perpetrators of this particular crime are brought to justice? We are doing everything in our possibility. But what pains me is that double standard who pinpoint and blame the government for everything when they
Siddaramaiah have bled off their hands.
Shatabi Shivarna talking about hypocrisy is the same for the Congress as well. When the stampede in Uttar Pradesh during Mahakumbh happened, even the Congress was asking for the Chief Minister's resignation back then.
Stance is insofar as this issue is concerned. It is our duty.
No, you spoke about the BJP's hypocrisy, which is why I'm highlighting. If you accuse the BJP of hypocrisy, the Congress doesn't come out smelling like roses either.
The hypocrisy that I talk about is the Bharatiya Janata Party plays politics, dirty politics over dead bodies. This is what we don't like. This is what I would like to condemn. And we are taking accountability of the matter. We are not hiding the number of deaths. We are taking enough and more action. Please allow the law to...
Sure. So the law will take its own course. The law will take its own course, but justice needs to be done. And AK Jain, justice needs to be seen to be done as well. isn't it?
You are absolutely correct. Can they tell me what was the fault of police commissioner? Why was he placed under suspension? He was placed under suspension because he told CM that events cannot be organized at such a short notice. This led to his suspension. It's very funny. And can the spokesperson of Congress show me one permission of police to hold event? Can he show even one permission of police to hold the event at Bengaluru? No permission was given. No permission was issued by police. And if Chief Minister asks the police to arrange for felicitation ceremony at Vidhan Sauda, and in which he is going to be present, his cabinet colleagues are going to be present, do you think police can deny that we will not make a bandobast there? But you are thinning out the presence of police.
And all the red flags were raised. Unfortunately, they were all completely ignored, and that is why we saw this tragedy. Many would say this was a tragedy waiting to happen. Unfortunately, 11 innocent lives have been lost. Justice needs to be done to the families of those 11 people. We really hope that happens sooner than later. Unfortunately, I'm completely out of time. I have to thank you all for joining us here on this edition of The Right Stand. Let's move on now. Pakistan has once again resorted to nuclear rhetoric. Pakistan People's Party chairman Bilawal Bhutto, the former foreign minister of the country, while addressing the Middle East Institute in Washington, has said that India is laying the ground for a nuclear war between India and Pakistan over the Indus Water. Member of Parliament Tejaswi Surya of India of the BJP, who's part of the delegation that's visiting several countries around the world, but right now is in the United States to take the message to the world that Pakistan and India, the perpetrator and the victim respectively, cannot be put on the same page, has slammed these remarks of the former foreign minister of Pakistan, Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, saying that it was like devil reading the scriptures. Pakistan is a global terror hub that's involved in attacks worldwide, but the PPP chairman claims that India's actions over Indus Water's treaty is like an act of war. India has maintained that our stance is certain. Pakistan has been sheltering terrorists like Osama bin Laden, like Hafiz Saeed, and that is not going to work anymore. Taking recourse to nuclear bluff, Bilawal stated that water scarcity and water wars used to be in theory earlier, but now, with putting the Indus Water Treaty in abeyance, India is trying to weaponize that very water. Decimating Pakistan's narrative, India has claimed that Pakistan continues to train, fund and export terror globally. Embarrassed and with no takers on the world stage, Pakistan has now been trying every tactic to shame India. But the reverse really has happened with Pakistan because they find themselves completely isolated and with egg on their face, especially Bilawal Bhutto Zardari. India's decision to keep the Indus Water Treaty in abeyance has left Pakistan parched. Bilawal has asked India to take back its decision. In fact, India has been petitioned 4 times by Pakistan officially to say that we must reconsider our decision. Government sources have told CNN News 18 that Pakistan has sent these 4 formal letters beginning in early May, prior to Operation Sindoor. It was followed up by 3 subsequent requests. All communications have now been forwarded to India's External Affairs Ministry, but India's stance is clear that we will not remove this decision. We will not continue to keep this treaty in abeyance until Pakistan decides to talk terror, and that's the only conversation India wants to have with Pakistan. India continues to escalate our diplomatic crackdown as well. India is developing a 130-kilometer canal connecting the Beas River to the Ganga Canal. There's a proposal to extend it to Yamuna River as well. Now, this move is not only a message to Pakistan, but it's also going to benefit several states in our country. Delhi, Rajasthan, Haryana, Punjab are all going to benefit because of this canal, and it's likely to be completed in about 2 to 3 years. The impact of this would be severe on Pakistan, especially on the rabi crops. There could be shortage of drinking water as well. Kharif crops may witness impact, although limited, but Pakistan is definitely feeling the heat, which is why we're seeing them try and petition India, urge India, beg India, if you will, to reconsider this decision of putting the Indus Water Treaty in abeyance. Let's open this up. Joining me on this broadcast is Rajiv Dogra, former diplomat, and Sant Kumar Sharma, author of the Indus Water story. Rajiv Dogra, let me begin by asking you, as far as the treaty in itself is concerned, we have to look at the historical context of when that treaty was actually signed decades ago, and if it has any, sort of resonance in the kind of situation we find ourselves in today.
Well, since you're talking of the historical context, let me give you the historical context. Firstly, in 1960, this treaty was signed, but much before that, starting from 1953, America was very keen that India is made, almost forced to sign a waters treaty that gives majority of the waters to Pakistan, and India is also made to sign an agreement on Kashmir which is favorable to Pakistan. When Pandit Nehru did not agree to those tactics, then finally America pushed forward the World Bank. Simultaneously, there was another development. Both Pakistan and India were in deep financial trouble. And the American ambassador based in Pakistan in 1960, he sent a telegram back home saying that both are in big financial trouble, India even more so. This is the time to teach Nehru the rules of international behavior and get him to sign the Waters Treaty. That is how it developed. World Bank was brought in, though World Bank, mind you, did not have any mandate to be a negotiator or a mediator between two sovereign countries. But India, because of its financial issues, agreed to that and agreed to a very unfavorable treaty where 80% of the waters were given to Pakistan. There's another sideline to it, and that is even more damaging. India had to give all the waters of 3 western rivers and had some share or major share of the 3 eastern rivers, which were very small rivers. But the western rivers, where are they flowing from? They are all flowing from Kashmir. No one in India has so far realized that those 3 western rivers, by giving away all the water rights over them, India was signing its death warrant on sovereignty over J&K. But that is exactly what happened. So Indus Waters Treaty was like a death knell for India in many ways. Let me give you one more context to this. Ayub Khan, he said that Pakistan was being very unreasonable in its demands. It was asking for the moon. Much before Ayub Khan in 1947, July 47, when the negotiations were going on and regarding apportioning of various assets, Jinnah was asked by the Britishers, what about sharing waters? He said, no, I don't want even a single drop of these waters. I would rather have desert in Pakistan than to have fields cultivated by Hindu water. Later all this changed because Pakistan realized it was getting a gold mine, virtually gold mine flowing through its territory, and agriculture is the only mainstay of Pakistan's economy. But India has suffered all this while. Let me give you one small example. India's water share per capita in 1960 was 8,000 cubic meters per person. Today, it is less than 1,500 cubic meters per person. Let me add to it in another way. India's electricity generation in 1960 compared to now was 50 times less. So just to give you an idea that our electricity needs have grown by 50 times, our water needs have gone down by 5 times. So India has done self-harm to itself. That is the historical context. But let me give you one more current context or historical context as well. And that is that there are 57 transboundary, transnational rivers in Asia. Only 4 of them have agreements between countries. 2 of them are by India. One on Indus Waters with Pakistan, the other on Ganges with Bangladesh. So how much sacrifice is required of India? If we continue this way, there's a documentary, international documentary, which said if India continues down this path, people will have to drink water from the toilet.
And India is taking the right step in the right direction, Sant Kumar Sharma, isn't it? This lopsidedness that we saw with the treaty, that Pakistan always had an unfair advantage ever since this treaty was signed. it also ensured that we couldn't develop a lot of, say, dams or hydroelectric power projects along any of these rivers, because Pakistan every single time raked up this treaty saying, oh, but the treaty says you can't do this. And a lot of those projects have been delayed for years together. That has affected how we develop that particular region of ours. So this putting the treaty into abeyance is just first step into making sure that we right this historical wrong. Do you agree?
Yes, for sure. Because giving Pakistan 135 million acre feet of water and only 32.7 to India, those figures speak for themselves as to what has been done under this treaty. And the least we should have tried now is to go for 40%, which is a more equitable share, and that is what we should take an approach where we should go to. If Pakistan says anything, we should say that's okay. Whatever you may say, you say that, but we want 40% of the share, and right now we have only 20%. So you tell us as to how we take it from Jhelum and Chenab. Having said that, the second thing is what you talked about, the project that they stalled. The project, one of the worst projects that suffered the worst is the Tulbul navigation project on Wular Lake, and we were just putting up a navigation lock, and the navigation lock would have helped us create a navigation area from Sopore to Baramulla for about 20 kilometers, on which the navigation would have been possible. With the treaty in abeyance now, it has been pending for 41 years, but it should be pending only for 1 or 2 years more, because Wular dredging also, and other things, the flood control measures are already being taken. And on the Chenab River and Kishanganga and others, on whatever projects they try to sabotage us and harm us, we have to go. Already we are doing some sediment clearing. Things will be very difficult for Pakistan in the lean months. And Pakistan also should ask something of Turkey and China. They are both his bosom friends. Now, how do Turkey and China behave with their lower riparians? We will very happily do something what Turkey does to its lower riparians and what China does to its lower riparian to Pakistan.
And speaking of China, Santkumar Sharma, I want to ask you this. You know, there was a lot of narrative that was being peddled on social media, especially a lot of experts leaning towards Beijing were talking about how China can do to India what India has been doing to Pakistan and use Brahmaputra against us. Is that actually feasible? Is that just, warmongering, so to say, from these experts, or is it actually plausible?
Whatever it does not take Pakistan into account. It is only a Pakistan which keeps on saying these things. And Hemant Biswa Sharma, the Assam Chief Minister, the other day, he made it clear that 70% of Brahmaputra's waters are from Arunachal and other areas within India. It is 30% or less water in Brahmaputra which come from the Chinese side. So even if that 30% China does something, there is not any substantial difference that will happen to us. So this narrative is the only narrative which Pakistan tries to build up. And those people in India also who are sympathetic to Pakistan and who try to do one thing, who find everything wrong whenever we try to say anything for our own people. When we try to do for Indian citizens, they say, no, Pakistan citizens will suffer. No, it's not our job. Our job is, and one thing more, I would like to bring in that factor here, that in the Pakistan gets about 135.6 million acre feet. Of this, only 10% has been dammed. Only 10% is stored. In contrast to that, India gets only 32.7 million acre feet, of which it has already done about 42%, which is closer to global averages. So what does Pakistan do? What has Pakistan done? Only it is a crybaby. It is basically what you call the spoiled kid of the family.
And not just a crybaby, Rajiv Dogra. Right now we have the former foreign minister of Pakistan in the United States claiming that India is weaponizing the Indus Waters and trying to, set the stage for a nuclear conflict. How do you read that?
in the equation between India and
Well, I
Pakistan.
think Bilawal Bhutto is not taken seriously in Pakistan. Some people have various opinions about him, including personal opinions. I would not go into that nor elaborate on that. Bilawal Bhutto has, like his grandfather, a way of dramatizing things and saying things which are bombastic in nature. This nuclear threat is one of them. But to be fair to Bilawal Bhutto, I must say that there are many of his compatriots in politicians and in terrorist circles who use the same language, who use the same threats. So we have to be prepared for that, because Pakistan is a volatile country and Pakistan is a selfish country. We've been forced to have 3 wars with Pakistan on Kashmir issue. We've also been forced to have 1 war with Pakistan on Bangladesh issue. So we should be prepared for escalation with Pakistan, forced by Pakistan on India on the waters issue. Whether that escalation is in form of a conflict, a skirmish or an actual war, I think ultimately we have to be prepared to call its bluff and to confront it in case it drags us into the mud. Because otherwise Pakistan is not going to change its behavior. And why should we keep bending? I don't think we should ask Pakistan for 40% vote. I'm sorry to disagree with my co-panelists, but the scales should change. Let me give you one example of Wooler Lake, which you had mentioned. At its full flow, Wooler Lake had 217 square kilometers of area covered underwater. Today it is just about 70 square kilometers because of Pakistan's diktat and because we bent over to please Pakistan. Let me give you some other examples. Gulati, Niranjan Gulati, who was our chief negotiator, he admitted himself that sorry, we did not include dams in the Indus Water Treaty because we thought it was outside its purview. Dams have been the bane of India ever since then, because Pakistan keeps us dragging to international court saying that, why are they building this dam or the other dam?
Secondly, and that's what Bilawal Bhutto tried to do this time around as well. Trying to internationalize this entire issue, wanting the international community to look into it and try and pressure India into revoking the decision of putting the Waters Treaty into abeyance.
Let me also put that in context. Whether Pakistan takes it to the international opinion or international agenda, makes it an international agenda, that does not matter to us, because Pakistan itself claims sovereign rights over its waters. As for China, again it claims sovereign rights over its waters. Secondly, there are the examples of Turkey, which in 1960s incidentally decided to abrogate, not keep in abeyance, abrogate its waters agreement with Syria and Iraq over Euphrates and Tigris. The result was that from about 30 billion square meters of water that were flowing into Syria, it dropped to 8 billion square meters. The result for Turkey was Turkey's industrialization in a major way. Once it started building dams and so on over the waters. And Syria and Iraq suffered. In India's case, by being very gentle, by being very generous, we have deprived our people of the minimum drinking water. Not to talk of water for industrial use, water for agriculture use, water for other uses.
Absolutely, so and it's served its purpose, or maybe far more than what it should have served. Putting it in abeyance is first step. Maybe it's time to reconsider the treaty in itself altogether. That perhaps would be the next step too, is what many would argue. But I have to leave it there. I'm completely out of time. I thank you, Rajiv Dogra and Sant Kumar Sharma, for joining us here on this broadcast and sharing your perspective. Before we wrap up this edition of The Right Stand, we want to get your focus to what's transpiring in the United States. At one point, the duo looked inseparable, but their bromance seems to be short-lived now. Who are we talking about? The President of the United States of America and his former buddy Elon Musk. What led to the series of public spats and the final breakup, especially in the last 12 hours? All that's transpired. Take a look.
Honored to be with Elon, who's my friend, and he's done a fantastic job. I'm very disappointed in Elon. I've helped Elon a lot.
Two statements less than a week apart sum up one huge story. Washington has been hit by a political earthquake that everyone saw coming, but not like this.
His name is Elon Musk.
What happens when the world's richest man and the world's most powerful man have a knockdown, drag-out fight? The world found out on June 5th, and it wasn't pretty. 10 minutes of berating on live TV, more than a dozen posts on X, 3 posts on Truth Social. In 5 hours, the Donald Trump-Elon Musk romance was not only dead, it was 6 feet under the ground. While Musk has been criticizing Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill for a while now, including calling it a disgusting abomination, on Thursday morning he started digging up the president's old posts about the deficit to use his own words against him. Then, while answering press questions during a White House event with German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, Trump responded to Musk's attacks for the very first time. And boy, did he let it rip.
Look, you know, I've always liked Elon, and it's always very surprised. You saw the words he had for me, the words of, and he hasn't said anything about me that's bad. I'd rather have him criticize me than the bill, because the bill is incredible. It's the biggest cut in the history of our country. We've never cut. It's about 1.6 trillion in cuts.
Trump claimed Musk's opposition to the bill was driven by its elimination of tax credits for electric vehicles, which would potentially hurt Tesla.
Elon's upset because we took the EV mandate, and which was a lot of money for electric vehicles, and they're having a hard time, the electric vehicles, and they want us to pay billions of dollars in subsidy. And Elon knew this from the beginning. He knew it for a long time ago. That's been in there. That's been, I would say, JD, that hasn't changed. That's been right from the beginning.
Then came the final nail on the coffin. Trump said in no uncertain terms that he is disappointed with Elon Musk.
Look, Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we're well anymore. I was surprised because you were here. Everybody in this room practically was here as we had a wonderful send-off. He said wonderful things about me. You couldn't have nicer. Said the best thing. He's worn the hat. Trump was right about everything. And I am right about the great, big, beautiful bill. We call it a great, big, beautiful bill because that's what it is. But I'm very disappointed because Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here, better than you people. He knew everything about it. He had no problem with it. All of a sudden he had a problem. And he only developed the problem when he found out that we're going to have to cut the EV mandate because that's billions and billions of dollars. And it really is unfair. And if you saw the statements he made about me, which I'm sure you can get very easily, it's very fresh on tape, he said the most beautiful things about it. And he hasn't said bad about me personally, but I'm sure that'll be next. But I'm very disappointed in Elon. I've helped Elon a lot.
He even suggested that Musk was suffering from what he called Trump derangement syndrome.
People leave my administration and they love us. And then at some point they miss it so badly, and some of them embrace it and some of them actually become hostile. I don't know what it is. It's sort of Trump derangement syndrome, I guess they call it, but we have it with others too. They leave and they wake up in the morning and the glamour's gone, the whole world is different, and they become hostile. And
Trump derangement syndrome or not, the press conference really riled up Musk. A whirlwind of posts on X responding in near real time to what Trump said during the press briefing. Then he started posting beyond the bill, claiming that without him, Trump and the Republicans would have lost the 2024 presidential election. Musk even started a poll about creating a new political party that, in his words, actually represents the 80% in the middle. Musk also came out with a new, not-so-flattering name for Trump's bill, the Big Ugly Spending Bill. By which time the president had had enough. Trump responded to Musk with 2 consecutive posts on his own social media platform, Truth Social. In the first, he claimed that Elon Musk was wearing thin and that he had asked him to leave his administration. In the second post, he threatened to terminate Musk's governmental subsidies and contracts. Musk shot back, calling Trump's allegations about asking him to leave such an obvious lie. He even appeared to dare Trump to cancel government contracts with his companies. Then came the mic drop moment. In a stunning claim, Musk said Donald Trump is in the infamous Epstein files, and that is why the details and findings of the investigation have not been made public. Musk reposted what appears to be a video of Trump partying with the late Jeffrey Epstein from the 1990s. He even publicly agreed that the US president should be impeached and Vice President J.D. Vance should replace him. Trump put out another post on Truth Social. There was no mention of the Epstein files allegations, only a straight-up defense of the bill that Musk has been raging against. Trump called it one of the greatest bills ever presented to Congress. Elon Musk made another big statement. He said SpaceX will decommission its Dragon spacecraft immediately. SpaceX's Dragon spaceships transport NASA astronauts and supplies to and from the International Space Station. Prior to partnering with SpaceX, the agency depended on Russian Soyuz spacecraft for crewed missions. But after an ex-user slammed Trump and Musk for their shameful fight and asked them to take a step back for a couple of days, Musk said, "Okay, we won't decommission Dragon." Musk took one more shot at Trump, saying the president's tariffs will cause a recession in the second half of this year. But this story is far from over. Elon Musk and Donald Trump have gone public with their one big ugly feud, and it's got the world hooked.
Co-presented by This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
The Bengaluru police has now arrested 4 people in the Bengaluru Stampede case. 2 people are from the RCB management and 2 others are from DNA. They have been arrested so far. The stampede, remember, has triggered massive political and administrative fallout. At yesterday's cabinet meeting, we are learning that Chief Minister Siddaramaiah announced major actions. This is a one-member judicial commission that has now been formed. Meanwhile, we're also learning that senior police officials have been suspended, including the Cubbon Park Police Inspector, the area ACP and the Central DCP, also Additional Commissioner of Police and even the Bengaluru City Police Commissioner. 1996 batch IPS officer Srimat Kumar Singh is now the new commissioner. While cops face suspension, ministers who turned the tragedy into a photo op session remain untouched, and that is the big question that we are asking here.
The cabinet has taken a decision to suspend the CPI of the Cubbon Park police station and ACP of that particular area, DCP of Central Divisional Commission, Deputy Commissioner of Police, Assistant Commissioner of Police and CPI, and Additional Commissioner of Police, and who is in charge of the stadium.
Yes, they condone the message. ನಾನು ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ಗೆ ಸ್ಟೇಡಿಯಂಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಐ ಗೇವ್ ದೆಮ್ ಎ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ದೆಮ್ ವಿತಿನ್ 10 minutes this program should be closed. I took the secretary also, he also, they all agreed, even the RCB team agreed. Within 10 minutes in the stage, not even 1 minute. 5 minutes they closed the program and they went around that. We sent a lot of police people around them also. We didn't want any incident to happen also. They just closed and we requested Kohli also to just go. You saw the everything. They, for a courtesy sake, to show that they have handed over this gift to Karnataka. That is what they just within one minute they just gave a cup to me. I said okay, fine, and we just closed it.
What we have seen in Bengaluru Stampede is nothing short of a state-sponsored man-made disaster for which the CM and Deputy CM are directly responsible. They are A1 and A2, but instead of taking the accountability, we see that there is an attempt to shift the blame constantly by them. Within 24 hours now, to fix the responsibility on somebody, action has been taken on series of officers. Did the police give the clearance for the program in Vidhan Sauda? Who gave the clearance? And who took the decision to continue the celebration even when deaths were occurring? So this is yet another attempt to save their own skin and to find scapegoat.
Sir, you've inspected the spots where this unfortunate tragedy took place prima facie. What are the aspects you would be looking into, sir?
Yeah, I visited all the gates where people are suffered so much. I take a situation of the ground reality of the stadium. I have to analyze all the CCTV footages and events in going on yesterday gone there. After that, I will issue notice to some institutions and persons. I issue a public notice to public to give their evidence. I will collect evidence on 13th of this month.
Also, likelihood of RCB, KCA and others being given notice?
I will issue notice to KCA, RCB, Police Department and Police Commissionerate and some other departments also, Metro
BMRC.
Department, BMRC and other departments also. I will visit Vidhan Sauda. I will.
Joining us right now, the new Commissioner of Bengaluru City Police, Mr. Hemant Kumar Singh. Sir, you're taking up this job at a very crucial and challenging time.
I like to clarify that police job itself is very challenging and we are used to it. So our officers in Bangalore City Police have already been doing a very good work, and as part of that I'll try to carry on the good works which is done, and with the support of you all and the public and my officers, certainly we'll try to bring in the best service which we can do.
So the immediate focus definitely is on the Stampede case and the probe in that. How does it progress from here on, sir?
It's too early for me to comment on that. I'm just taking charge. Give us some time and we'll get back to you on this.
Final question, any priorities areas, sir, that you would look at?
I told you, just I have taken charge.
Okay.
So basic policing is my priority and we'll do it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Let me take this across to my colleagues Harish and Rohini, who are now with us on the broadcast. Harish, you managed to speak to next in charge as far as the police is concerned, but the big question still remains that while they are sacking police officials, they are the ones who in fact flagged the concerns. There is no action at the ministerial levels.
Absolutely. Remember, 3 senior IPS officers have now been suspended, but we still have no word on what's the action that the government will take on the political class, the ministers who pressurize the police to allow these events, including the one at Vidhan Sauda, including the one at Chinnaswamy Stadium. The government itself is conceding that is now coming out and saying that there was no proper approval on paper. But then these events happened. The Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister were present in Vidhan Sauda. The Deputy Chief Minister was present in Chinnaswamy Stadium also. And that's why this doesn't cut ties. If the government believes that these events did not have permission, then why did the political class take part in these events? And they can't now claim that they were ignorant about it. And the fact that the Deputy Chief Minister himself on the day of the event, on the 4th morning, came out and said that there are requests to hold this event, and the police, the Home Minister and the Chief Minister will decide after a discussion, indicates that the government was very well aware and the discussion had happened at the senior most level of the government. Yet you now see the government trying to make IPS officers and other police officers the scapegoat in this case, not really coming out and saying what action will be taken against their own, the people within the government who allowed this to happen, who were part of it, who were happy clicking selfies with these RCB players and others who were present on the dais. Not just that, they also got in their family members and others. So clearly the government has a lot of explaining to do. Let's also not forget.
Good evening, you're watching Brass Tacks. I'm Zakir Jacob. It's the world's costliest breakup. The world's richest man and the world's most powerful man have broken up. It is no longer Paradise City between Elon Musk and Donald Trump. And now the gloves are well and truly off. Musk left the government after months of being the head of DOGE, or the Department of Government Efficiency. His one-stop shop was to try and curtail government expenses. But Trump is riding over these disagreements with what he calls the big, beautiful bill. Musk says the bill will add another $2.5 trillion to America's already ticking time bomb, which is the American national debt. This is the trigger which led to the breakup between Elon Musk and Donald Trump. The world's most famous bromance now lies in a bitter breakup. But the factors that are underlying, what are the reasons that actually led up to this? Yes, the bill is what was the final, straw that